Hello and welcome to this edition of How to Planet, our daily look at the stars, the moons, and the planets that influence us. My name is Sarah. I'm very happy to be here on this Friday. It is July 25th, 2014, and today is an extremely special day, so let's get started. I have good information to share with you, and as always, we'll do a little practice to get you rolling for your Friday. So we begin with Friday, and this day is ruled by the planet Venus. And Venus is all about material pleasures. Venus brings us relationships, brings us romance, brings us luxury, and the idea that we can explore our senses and things of joy in the material world. So Fridays are often celebratory. It's the end of the week. We go out to dinner, maybe a movie, do something fun, and Venus supports us in this. So it's a very powerful energy to manifest. It's very much associated with the goddesses. If you're familiar with Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth in the Vedic tradition, or Isis, the goddess, the mother goddess from the Egyptian tradition, or even Aphrodite, who brings us beauty and love from the Greek tradition, all of this energy is very available through the blessings of Venus. And the sounds we'll be using to invoke and acknowledge Venus is the mantra Om Shukraya Namaha. So next we look at the star that affects us today, and there's actually one star. Most days there's two, but the star changes just before midnight, or it did, and we have the star Purnavasu ruling this entire day. And this is a star that means return to light. It's a star also of material prosperity. It brings great wealth to us, but it does so in a way that's very much about renewal. It comes after a very powerful star, a Rudra, that can destroy things. Even though it does it with great compassion, it can be very fierce. And then comes Purnavasu to bring us this life after the destruction, and it's a very freeing energy, and one again that flows well with Venus's material prosperity today. And finally, we look at the moon phases. We have two moon phases today. We start off in the 14th waning moon, and this is one that brings divine blessings of protection. It's associated with the archetype Shiva, the supreme being who can protect us, and it supports us into the new moon, which is the final stage, the 15th waning moon, which begins at around 1:30 Pacific Daylight Time. And the new moon is actually the darkest night of the entire month. It's when the sun and the moon are in the same zodiac sign, and they happen to be in the sign of Cancer in the Vedic system. And so you have the sun and the moon, which is like the king and the queen, in the same sign as your very powerful, exalted Jupiter, the great guru or teacher. So this is a very intense new moon. There's a lot of power in this, and the new moon, Dr. Pillai says, is very spiritual. It's a time to do your meditation, to reflect, to go inside and do self-reflection. And in addition to that, it's the best time to connect with your ancestors. So if you know what Tarpanam is, the offering for ancestors, this is a perfect time to do it. You want to make sure you do it during the sunlight hours between sunrise and sunset. And you can go to PillaiCenter.com or Astraved.com and learn more if you're unfamiliar with Tarpanam. But just know it is an extremely powerful, if not one of the most powerful new moon months to connect with your ancestors and to ask them to go into the light, and from there they can bless you. So I hope you can make the most of this day. It's a really powerful Friday for both spiritual and material endeavors. So we have a short practice to do together, and then you can carry this energy with you throughout the rest of the day. So let's begin. You can follow along however suits you. Close your eyes if you like. Say these invocations out loud. Do whatever works best for you. We begin by acknowledging Venus as the ruling planet of Friday. We ask this planet for great relationships, for for love and harmony, romance, and to experience luxury in our life through material blessings. Om Shukraya Namaha. Again, throughout the day, connect with Venus and ask to understand the material world, to experience joy, and to share this with others. Next we call upon Purnavasu, the ruling star of the day, and this is one, again, that brings the energy of material prosperity, abundance, and it does so with great renewal, returning to the light. Acknowledge the gifts of Purnavasu and ask for guidance from this star to bring you again more abundance in the material world. We acknowledge the 14th waning moon that we begin the day with, asking for the guidance of the divine protection to come through this moon and bless all areas of our life. And finally, we acknowledge and invoke the 15th waning moon, the new moon. And during this darkest night of the month, we call upon the light of the moon to illuminate our minds and show us within our true spiritual path. Let us reflect upon ourselves, our highest self, and make that connection between the soul and the mind. Again, remember this is the most powerful day in the month to honor your ancestors, to honor your lineage passed down through your DNA. You can always do Tarpanam and connect to the ancestors on both your mother's and father's side. Now open your eyes, come back to the space you're in. Feel these blessings of material and spiritual prosperity, abundance, and joy. Make the most of this Friday. Make the most of this new moon. You can do a similar practice throughout the day. Just remember these energies and let them guide you in everything you do. Thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again tomorrow.